indeed. Well, the Spanish MEP Ernest Urtasun is among the European politicians calling for more to be done. He's even changed his Twitter name to EU #refugees welcome. He joins us live from Brussels as well. You've changed that, but the key problem here is, especially in your country, unemployment nearly 25%. You can't really afford to take any more people in, can you?
Of course we can. I mean, it's outrageous that the Spanish government has only offered less than 3,000 places for resettlement and relocation for refugees. I mean, we are talking about the biggest refugee crisis since the Second World War, and governments are not acting as they should. I mean, last year in 2014, we granted less than 200,000 asylum status, and that's less than 0.04% of the whole EU population. We can be doing much more in front of this amazing crisis, and frankly, at the level of unemployment where we are talking about less than 3,000 people, that's simply ridiculous.
Well, this is the argument, of course, as you know, the Spanish foreign minister has been using in recent days and weeks. What about the domestic political problem that this could cause as well, in terms of the opposition to countries, especially countries who've been in recession, taking in migrants?
Well, what I can tell from my country is that at the moment we have a huge wave of solidarity. The mayor of my city, from Barcelona, has created a network of cities that are ready to host refugees. And they have the capacities, they are willing to do that. There are demonstrations tomorrow, will be demonstration also in different cities in Spain in favor of more solidarity. And the problem is that the Spanish government is not willing to grant more refugee status and have more resettlement and relocation in our country. My party will be tabling in the Spanish parliament this week already a proposal to enlarge much more this very, very small offer that the Spanish government is doing. The Home Affairs ministers will be meeting on the 14th this month to decide about that, and I think we should be doing much more. Just to put you an example, Lebanon is hosting more than 1 million refugees. That's 25% of the population, and in Europe we're talking about last year about the 0.04%. Do we have the means? Do we have the capacity? Of course we do, and we are talking about the biggest refugee crisis in Second World War. I want to say that very clearly.
And do you think the quota systems outlined by Jean-Claude Juncker is perhaps the only solution, because it might actually prevent some people from trying to get into Europe in the first place anyway, if they're going to end up in a country they don't really want to live in?
Well, we will be discussing in the European Parliament next week a report from my colleague from the Greens, Ska Keller, about establishing a binding system of quotas for refugees. Of course, these quotas should not make compulsory for a refugee to go to a country if that person doesn't want to. This is very clear in the report. But the key issue here is that the Dublin system is completely dead. It doesn't work anymore, and it needs completely to be changed. And what we need is a common refugee policy where we have binding quotas and where we give EU safe ways of accessing EU, because the problem right now is that people are drowning in the sea because the EU is not giving free and legal access, so refugees can, for instance, go and present their applications to the embassies, which we could be doing. And the problem now is that we don't have the means. So the Dublin system is completely old, and we need to go for binding quotas and more solidarity for sure. And of course, we need to be much more open to great numbers, to more numbers than that. In the Council in the last month of June, it was decided only to host 40,000 people. That's insufficient, absolutely insufficient.
All right, okay. Ernest Urtasun, thank you very much indeed for joining us there from Brussels.